This always happens. Well, hello YouTube. I am DG Bricks. Welcome to the stream. Today, as the title and thumbnail say, we are going to be building this set right here. 8039 Venator-class Republic Attack Cruiser. Did I get that right? I think that's the entire name. Very cool set. Brick set link is in the description below if you want to check that out. But just some highlights, which now I can't remember. June 1st of 2009 through the end of 2011, so a 2.5-year shelf life for this set. 1,170 pieces, 5 minifigs, retail price $120, and today in new condition, Brick Set has it as $640. Used, it says $267. On eBay, you're going to be between $200 and $300, depending on figs and condition, things like that. I'm live, Chunk Hunk. Thank you for that. Mitchell Ray, thank you very much. Hello. So, oh my gosh, I don't even have the pieces here. Not very prepared today, but that seems to always happen with these streams. I am hoping to get through the entire build though. So unlike the AT-AT that we did and the Clone Scout Walker, we will get through the entire build in decent time. We've got the instructions here at top right, so that's pretty cool. And I've sorted my colors, so we're doing better than last time already. But, oh, Mitchell, do I store my inventory in a climate-controlled place? For the most part, no. And I don't need to, because most of my inventory I store with family in Los Angeles, and the climate there is mild enough that you can get away without climate control. I'm streaming here from my apartment, which is in Chicago, where I do have climate control. Obviously, you would hope so, otherwise you would freeze. So there's a little inventory behind me that you'll see, but 90% of my inventory is stored in California, just for logistical cost reasons. Yeah. Let me orient myself. So for our parts, I don't know if you can really see in there. I like these Trader Joe yogurt containers for, well, for lots of things, but organizing Lego parts, certainly. And this lot, so this set, let me back up. I got this set as part of a much larger bulk lot containing many other sets like Kylo Ren Shuttle. Oh. Kylo Ren Shuttle that you'll see. Some sets up there on the thumbnail. The 2014 Star Destroyer. Let's see if you can see back here. The Spider Droid right there came with this lot. I don't know if you can see, but the Republic Fighter Tank came with this lot. This was a huge lot. I paid like $430 for it. Got a pretty good deal. Got some really great sets. So I say all of this to say that this set may not be complete. The seller is a really cool guy. He's actually becoming a little bit of a personal friend, which is cool. He assured me that they would be 99%, but it's possible we'll be missing some pieces, and we may have to dive into the personal collection of DG parts to complement what we received. Hopefully not, but you never can tell. Since losing my inventory, how far have I built up? Well, it was not easy, but I was approved for a disaster recovery loan through the Small Business Administration, SBA. So, it took a lot of work, but I got pretty close to market value for what was destroyed in the fire. Context, my family's house burned down about a year ago in January of 2025, in the Los Angeles wildfires. The Eaton Fire was the name of the fire that came through Altadena, where I'm from. So that was obviously a big tragedy, like a life-altering event, but we're doing much better now. Like I said, we got the loan, we've purchased more inventory. How far have I built up? I'm not sure I want to reveal that on YouTube right now, but I'll just say over $20,000. Less than six figures, we'll say. So that's a pretty big range. It's a lot closer to the 20,000 than to the six figures. Let me see if I can get the chat up on this screen. That will go way better than a tiny laptop. Let me see. How do I get to my control center? Bear with me. I am obviously not an expert at live streaming. You get me, Chunk Hunk? Appreciate that. Is the audio sounding okay? Is the quality okay? Can you hear me? How are the levels? I didn't even check the stream with earbuds. I probably should have. Sounds great. All right. Appreciate that. Always ready for me to dunk on Kevin. Why would I dunk on Kevin? There's no reason to dunk on Kevin. Kevin's a great guy. Kevin is a great guy, a great podcast collaborator, and actually a great friend. And thank you whoever asked about the fire so soon in the stream, because now I get to talk about that. Kevin's been very supportive through this whole year, and just helping me with things YouTube, life related, Lego related. Excuse me. But also just, yeah, life, relationships, work, friends, just the trials we all face in everyday life. So he's a great guy. I do have the instructions here, hard copy, 2 booklets, but I think it's going to be easier to just read off the same instructions that you guys are seeing on screen here. So let's see how that goes. Hey, Biba Fett, there you are. Nice to see you. I was thinking about posting this link in that other group, but I don't want to self-promote myself too much, so we'll just stay on YouTube for the time being. So we are going to pop these, I guess, right there, and start building. And if you guys can see step 1, are you seeing the... Oh, you can't see the instructions. What's wrong? Yeah, you can. Okay, cool. What's up, Biba? Boba, I guess. So we're going to start with step 1 with a 2x8. I don't know why it took me so long to name that piece. And a black 1x2. Boom. We are off to the races. I'm going to turn my mic down just a little bit because I'm going to dump out some Lego pieces, and that's going to be very loud. So bear with me just a minute. You might want to turn your volume down. I thought I was going to dump them, but I've sorted by color, and I don't want to mix all the parts up, so we're not going to dump it after all. ASMR? Yeah. Starting to wonder if maybe I should have done this a little differently. These are gonna go all over the floor. I just know it. All right, so yeah, enjoy the ASMR, cause you're getting it either way. Turn my volume down a little bit. Oh, I was low volume the whole time. All right, we're going to turn it down, finish our dump. Okay. This has not been thought out, correct? It's been more thought out than the prior stream, but not thought out well enough. Excuse me, I dropped a part. I did bring the turntable, so at least we have that. I need some small bins. I know exactly what you mean, Boba, and that's for the black parts in this set. So I've got one small bin. And the problem is my other small bins are all taken up with camera equipment. Audio gear, battery chargers. I have one for cables. Ooh, excuse me. That was gross. So we're just going to do what we can with what we have. But before I got so sidetracked, we were talking about minifigures. And this Palpatine, I don't know if that will focus. Yeah, was in the lot. So we're not totally minifigure-less. So here we are. On to step 2. What made me want to build this set? Well, to be honest, I bought this huge lot of 10 or so sets and I don't have space for all of it, so I'm going to need to sell them on, and I was thinking about the best way to do that. Some of the smaller sets I'm going to combine into a lot just to save time and shipping, and yeah, I won't get as good of a price, but I bought it such a good price that I'll make money on pretty much every set I sell. But the reason I need to build this set is this is the last set truly in pieces that I need to build to sell. I guess I could sell it in bags as loose parts, but especially if I'm not sure how complete it is, I would have to say like 90% complete or maybe 95% complete. I wouldn't be comfortable saying 100% complete. So it's to have something to do and to so that I don't get a negative feedback, basically. But still working out exactly what platform to sell these sets on. There's eBay, of course. There's Facebook Marketplace. I do sell other places, but those are kind of the main ones. And I don't think I'm going to end up keeping this set, as nostalgic as it is to me. I am planning on moving sometime in 2025. And I'd like to move with as few Lego sets as possible, because everything I see on the internet about moving with Lego sets makes it sound not very fun. Another really fun detail is a lot of these parts are super yellowed. I don't know if you can tell in the light, but some of the parts of that, like the edges, are pretty darn yellow. So I'm just going to have to disclose that. There's not really a way around it. You weren't sure if I was keeping this for personal. You love Venators. So do I, man. I was so excited when the UCS Venator came out. And I'm still excited. The excitement has dwindled a little bit, naturally, because set's been out for quite some time. And one of my favorite things about building Lego is the further along in the build you get, the more your parts pile shrinks. So it gets easier and easier to find things. A 20-foot U-Haul full of sets to move when you moved. It sucked. Yeah, how did you do that? I wonder if you put them in boxes, put them in totes. I've seen some pictures on Reddit of people moving their UCS in like their hatchback and with blankets, trying to keep the Falcon all together, and it's like, oh man, I don't envy that whatsoever. Okay, I think I'm going to quick little tip. When you have a big pile of parts like this and the little ones want to roll away, something I've been doing, and I've never seen this discussed, I'm curious to know if anybody else does this. I'll take some kind of longer parts like this and kind of make a perimeter around the little itty bitty ones that want to roll away, and it keeps them from rolling away. And I've never heard anyone mention this ever. So I'm curious if I'm the only one that does that. Let's see, another interesting fact about this set is that it has dark red parts. I guess you can't really see that. Many of them old, well, all of them old brittle red. So I'm going to be very careful with those. Excuse me. And I'm going to skip ahead in the instructions because I found my 6x6 gray tile, but I don't know which direction the print or sticker goes. Okay. It looks like skinny side forward. So that will work. Cool. I guess it is a sticker. Yeah, it's a sticker. And the guy before me, bless his heart, did not apply it perfectly centered. Oh well. You use totes and boxes. You had a UCS Millennium Falcon on the floor of the U-Haul and the UCS AT-AT on its side. That UCS AT-AT is one of the worst Lego sets to move because you can't conveniently take the legs off. I think what I did is put it in a big, deep tote that kind of went up to where the legs meet the body. And I think I took off the blasters on the side of the head. I took off a few parts that came off easily, but man, that set is no fun to move. Titanic and Hogwarts Castle were on the floor of the U-Haul. I can't imagine. When I bought this lot from this guy, some of the sets were in parts like this. Others were built, and the built ones he had wrapped in saran wrap, which I had never seen before and would never think to do, but it did a pretty good job of keeping everything together. So I might use that one in the future. You had to rebuild the UCS AT-AT. That's the worst. Rebuilding a set that is partially destroyed or separated, because if it's a little bit of damage, like 10% of the parts are loose, you obviously just rebuild that. But if it's much more, yeah, what are you going to do? You got to just take it down to the studs, as they say in construction, and just, well, actually further than that, completely disassemble and rebuild. that's going to be better. I guess you guys can kind of see that down there. Yeah. We'll do our best. See, this stream got off to a poor start, we can say, but already looking like good progress. Faster progress than my very first live stream of the original Playscale AT-AT from 2003, which I have since sold. I do a lot of buying and selling locally, sometimes to make money, other times just because I've never had a set and I haven't had a set in a long time, we'll say, and I want to build it. So if I see a deal locally that looks decent, I'll pick it up, build it, enjoy it, display it in the back of a handful of videos, and when I'm bored of it or need space, sell it on. Pretty much always break even. Sometimes I make money. It's always a good time. The reason I'm scrolling through the instructions is I have one piece like this with a red tile stuck to it, and I do not want to try to remove that tile. So I'm looking to see if any of these large wedge plates we're doing in the instructions basically are this. And this round is not. And I'm pretty much football agnostic, but I am told there is a playoff game after this in a couple hours, so might see if I can get this done by then and go watch with the neighbor. We shall see, but as I said, don't really care that much. I'm really football agnostic, both college and NFL. I know that's a not unpopular, an uncommon opinion. I just am how I am. I really like this build because you start off with like all enormous pieces, and I feel like new builds are not this way, because this whole assembly is maybe 20 pieces and it's huge. I was doing another build from this slot recently, 2014 Star Destroyer, and there were so many plates like this that I was squeezing together with my thumbs that by the end, I mean, my thumbs were both red and kind of painful. They kind of hurt. Squeezing all these plates together when they have a ton of overlap like this is sometimes a little tricky. So one of these, two of these, and a 1x6. And because these go inside the ship where they won't be seen, I'm going to see if I can find some yellowed ones to use, so I don't have to look at the yellowed ones. Not working out, so oh well. And this is kind of interesting on step 12. They're having me take this, kind of put it in between there, and it's completely not secured in until the next step, I guess. So we'll secure that. Keep on going. Hopefully I don't knock that bin of pieces over, or stream's gonna end early. I haven't built this set since I last owned it, and I sold pretty much 90%, I'll say, of my childhood collection in 2015 when I graduated high school and moved off to college and needed money. Was a broke kid like most college freshmen, and I sold off my personal collection, most of it, including my childhood copy of this set. And I'm not upset I did it. I needed the money. Hadn't really played with Legos all through high school. I sort of got out of Lego Star Wars and Lego in general in about 2011, and really didn't get back into it until 2020. But in 2015, 16, and 17, every time I'd come home from college, I would sell off a little more of my collection. So this is a little bit of my origin story for Lego investing, is that really made the light bulb go off in my head of, oh, not only did I enjoy and play with these awesome sets, but I'm now selling them for more than I paid for them, or more than my family members had paid to give them to me as gifts. So it was a little bit of an aha moment, but I didn't take action just yet. That aha moment stayed in my head for about 5 more years. I was busy going to college and figuring out life as a young adult. But in 2020, YouTube started recommending me Lego investing content, and the rest is history. I think if I do things right, I can move we could move that over there. I think that might be better. Let's do that. Make it a little bigger. Yeah, let's do that. All right, step 16. So far, I've really only touched the grayscale parts. Haven't used any red, any blue, or any tan. But the build is young. The night is young. The build is young. I actually am pretty nervous about the completeness of this, because if I have to go hunting for more than a handful of missing parts, it could be a major slowdown. You're dreading the reds, the dark reds? Yeah, me too. And most of them in this set, I don't think you can see because of my poor choice of bin. Most of them are these 1x8 tiles, which are very fragile. Also some 1x2 jumpers, which are much less prone to break. But man, those tiles are pretty killer. And when I dumped out the bin in the first place to sort by color, I found a couple little chipped off parts of those tiles, which tells me some of them are going to be cracked. I looked through my own collection and my own dark red collection, and I don't have any 1x8s, so this one is going to be sold as is, with yellowing and maybe a couple of cracked red parts, dark red parts. So now we're using our first red, which is that guy. And I really wanted to have a second camera set up to like a hand cam, like a turntable cam for close-ups. But clearly my technical live streaming abilities are not quite there yet. Maybe next time. Oh gosh. Alright, here we go with the dark reds. There's 3 right there. It's been a long time since I looked at this set, obviously, but what I do remember is what we're building here. Come on, don't break it. What we're building here is a cool little slidey track that allows this cannon to come out either side of the Venator and start blasting the seps, I guess. You're sure Eric would have the missing parts to order from? Yeah, I'm sure he would, and I might want to order from him because he's got a pretty incredible Bricklink store. I don't know how many parts Ben's Brick Store has, but it's a lot. And better organized than my parts, so. Yeah, I need some more of these, kind of 1x4 with the slidey track gap. And I hope I'm not missing one. Come on, it's gotta be here. Help me out, chat. Where is it? Light gray. Found him. False alarm, no worries. And more dark red 1x4 tiles now. Ah, this is funny. I just picked out a tile, not knowing that that one has a print on it. Oh, I think it's a hooded. It's a hooded figure. It kind of looks like Chancellor Palps. Not sure. I think I'm just gonna put all the prints right here on the turntable, so I don't lose them. Yeah, you're just about to say that is it? You mean you were seeing the part I was looking for? You know what I might try? We're gonna see if we can zoom in a little bit with the camera, just to make things a little bit better. Let's see who can do it. Okay. That's a little bit better. Let's do it again. Much better. Now we're in business. On step 20 here, a lot of these 2x3s are extremely yellow. And now I can show you just what I'm talking about. These are 1x6, but that's pretty bad. Some of these tiles too. That's pretty yellow. Yeah. Oh well. I usually build about 3 times this fast when I'm not trying to form a complete verbal thought. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of dark red. Let's see, 4, that's 8. And some 1x4s. I'm going to meet somebody later today for a Facebook Marketplace deal. Boba Fett, if you're still listening, this might be interesting to you. I am purchasing 4 retired sets, sealed, that I intend to sell again on Walmart. One is the Architecture White House, retired I think 2 years ago now. Hey, Darren Price from UK. How you doing today? It's probably pretty late night over there, right? The other 3 sets are, oh man, the Architecture Taj Mahal, the Ideas International Space Station, and one more set I can't remember. Let's see what it is. Ah, the Ideas Friends set. Not the apartments, the sitcom stage set from I think 2021 or 22. I'm buying these 4 sets, all retired, for $500. And they're dropping them off for me. And I estimate that on Walmart they will go for closer to $900. So after fees, I think there's a little bit of margin there. Oh, it's 21:38. Yeah, European time. That's 9:38 p.m. Day off tomorrow's having a couple of buds. Very nice. Are you referring to beers or buddies, friends? I'm gonna guess beers. White House is a great set. You got it for $50 after retirement, 95% complete. Well, Eric's Brick Store can help you out with that. That's a crazy deal. $50 for mostly complete. I heard that set saw a pretty nice bump when the current president started his demolition on the, is it the West Wing or the East Wing? One of the wings of the White House. And so I guess collectors and, I don't know, who buys retired architecture White House sets, but White House fans rushed out basically to buy the 2022 White House, or 2020 White House. I can't remember when that launched. Retired in 23, and price went way, way up just in the last, I mean, it's a couple months ago that story broke and that happened. But yeah, it's around 200 to 250 now. On Walmart, it's closer to 300, and I don't know if it's really selling that high of a velocity because it's Walmart. It's hard to tell. But I'm sure it is selling. And I think I only saw one seller on the listing. So we shall see. It could be a bust, you know? It could be that I don't sell these sets as high as I think I can, and maybe it ends up being a wash in the end, but I think the return is there. I think I'll make a couple bucks. Ananias 88, I recognize you from the comments. I think you just donated $20. That's pretty crazy. Thank you so much. Correct, Darren Price. Okay, so it's the beers. Excellent. What kind of beer are you drinking? I don't think we're supposed to talk about alcohol. This stream is monetized, but I did put it on low ads for you guys because nobody likes ads. And to get into YouTube business a little bit, basically YouTube throughout the year doesn't pay squat for ad revenue. But after Black Friday, between about pretty much the whole months of November and December, YouTube like quadruples its ad revenue. And suddenly it becomes worthwhile to make videos and run ads. So for most of the year, my earnings from videos are pretty negligible. A Brick Talk episode might earn $30. A real success might earn $100. But by the time you factor in, you know, all the editing time, I'm earning far below minimum wage. So it's nice that YouTube pays us, but it's not really for Lego, and certainly for Lego investing with a niche this narrow. I am certainly not getting rich off of the YouTube, to be clear. I could get rich off of Lego investing, and I fully intend to. Budweiser, Darren Price. Very nice. Brick Thesis, cool build. Any broken or missing pieces? Yeah, I was saying earlier, a lot of these dark reds in this lot when I was sorting these by color, I noticed a couple little dark red slivers of bricks that had broken off. So the dark reds are definitely brittle in this, and that's why I'm not going to be removing that one. It's going to stay right on there until that piece is ready. So that's, and then we have some yellowed parts as well. I was just showing a minute ago. I guess I'll show it again. The one on, I guess, closer to the right of the screen is pretty dang yellow. So, short answer, yes, there are broken, not missing so far, but broken or damaged pieces. Step 29. And I do have my own loose parts to see about replacing any missing pieces I may find, but most of my parts in my own collection are like bigger parts, slopes. I like to build mocks of jungles and nature scenes, so I don't have a lot of like Technic parts or grays or smaller parts. I kind of keep parts and build with parts that you would see in a 4+ set. So I like big parts. I'll keep parts like this because I can build. I pretty much always build minifig scale, and I like to be able to get a build to come together really quickly. So I'm not sure how useful my personal collection will be at replacing any missing parts I do find. Okay, this is a 2x, so we got to do this twice. And these engines look pretty good like this. I was looking at the UCS Venator and noticing in some reviews pretty bad sag on the engines. I haven't built that set myself, but I think that's a little surprising because LEGO tends to avoid some of the more, let's say, avant-garde building techniques that stress the parts. So I'm not sure what happened, if that was unforeseen or if the tolerances in the official UCS Venator instructions, I haven't actually looked at it, so I don't know if it's I think it's a Technic axle, a nice long Technic axle. But it's so long that the weight of the parts has it sag toward the edge. One day I will build that UCS Venator and find out for myself. Huh. This is kind of fun, but this fig came with a lot, and this does not belong in this set. This is from 2005 and 6. If you believe in Bricklink values, this is pretty much the worst clone pilot they've ever made, or the least desirable. And I like it quite a lot. You still need to build your UCS Venator? Did you buy one already? I'm sure you didn't buy one for investing because it's not scheduled. And I've talked to you enough within Ignite to know that you're a savvy guy. I'm sure you know that. But, hey, talking about UCS and recent retirements, I am shocked to see the Razor Crest off to such a start. Okay, wait a minute. What did I do? Oh, between 5 and 6, you flip it. I see. Yeah. I'm shocked to see the Razor Crest off to such a strong start. I missed that completely. I know it went, I think, 25% off at Insider Days from LEGO, so 600 retail, went down to $450 plus promos, so you could get that for under $400. And on Walmart right now, that's going for like $840. Haven't looked on eBay, haven't looked on Amazon, but I think it's well over 600 of which is retail. So if you got that at 400, or if you picked up any other sales on that set and you got the Razor Crest for 420 to 450 to even 480, you are looking good right now. And I completely missed out. Yeah, correct. So this guy's an ARC 170 pilot. Saw your latest investment episode with KDX. Cool stuff. What do you think of investors who diversify over many themes, like Kevin, focusing on fewer sets but greater diversity? I think that's fine. I'm not going to say that that's wrong. I prefer to concentrate my investments into fewer SKUs, just because of the way I run my business, and especially the markets that I serve and the places that I sell on Walmart. So I haven't said this outright, but I mostly sell on Walmart these days, and mostly basically FBA, where I'm not fulfilling my own orders. So because that is where I sell, I try to buy with that in mind. I try to buy sets that do better on Walmart, which there is a difference between eBay, Amazon, and Walmart. Walmart tends to be, well, I'm not entirely sure, but I have the sense that it's a lot more parents, people buying for their children, more uninformed buyers. And so friends, creator, themes like that do a lot better on Walmart. Not to say you can't sell collector-oriented UCS sets on Walmart. You absolutely can. But because I do Walmart FBA, basically, I tend to prefer smaller sets and going pretty deep into them. So this year, I'm not going to show my sheet, but I bought way more SKUs than I would like. I ended up buying like 70 different sets this year for investment. I guess I didn't buy all of them. Some of them are GWPs, but I ended up buying over 50 sets this year. And going in, I'd wanted to buy about 25. So I'm pretty happy overall with the sets I did buy. But yeah. Seems I made a mistake on step 29. Glad I caught that now. Rather than 2 like that, should just be 1 in the middle. Cool build. Thank you, Color Brick Studio. Didn't it sell out pretty quick? I believe it did. I wasn't targeting that shop at home sale, but I think I did hear in the chat that it sold out within less than an hour. I think just a couple of minutes. And I was thinking about it, kind of doing my year in review for 2025 investing. It's sort of funny. All the good sales were on like 3 nights this year. So if you stayed up till midnight or whatever time zone until the Lego start of the Lego sales start, then you did quite well. And if you missed those, you still could have bought great sets, but man, like most of the best stuff went on, let's see, well, early Black Friday, Insider Days, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. It was kind of it this year. So I'd be curious to know if other investment folks in the chat agree, but my impression is this year was had the sales most concentrated on just a couple of days, more than any other year before. Again, that's just my impression. I'd be curious to know what others think. But I wish I had made more repeat orders on those. Like Ninjago City Markets, I picked up 3. I wish I'd gotten 5. Disney Castle, I skipped it completely because I didn't do any homework on it. That's fine. I'm not beating myself up, but I wish I'd gotten the Razor Crest, which I was considering. Lion Knight's Castle, of course, that went way too quickly. But that's the risk you take when you wait till the last minute to buy a high-profile, highly desirable set like that. And I think LEGO probably had... I don't know quite how to say this. I'm not sure LEGO should have publicized that as one of the sets to be put on sale when they had such little stock available, because it sounds like pretty universally everyone was disappointed that they couldn't get their Lion Knight's Castle. It sold out within like a minute in North America. But, you know, nobody's perfect, especially not LEGO. And I feel kind of whatever. I mean, I would have liked to have a Lion Knight's Castle for personal, but it wasn't make or break for me. Lots of folks were really upset with that. And to them, I would just say, if you wanted it so badly, you shouldn't have waited until month 38 of 39 to pick that set up. Your credit cards are glad buying season's over? Nice. It's funny, my impression is kind of the opposite. I had budget this year, and there aren't any sales available now. Buying season is very much over, but I wasn't able to go through my whole budget, which is why I wish I had gone deeper on, okay, more Ninjago City Markets. Wish I'd gotten some Razor Crests. Because I'm standing here with my money and there's nothing to buy. And of course it's good to save money, keep it in your pocket. But I'd planned on spending a certain amount this year for LEGO investing and didn't end up getting there. I know that sounds like a weird problem to complain about, and trust me, just 6 months ago, before getting approved for a disaster loan for full market value, which I did not expect, I would never have believed anyone who said, oh, I have a hard time spending enough of my budget on LEGO investing. But I think that becomes a problem at a larger scale from what I read from people doing it at a much larger scale than myself. Is it becomes hard to spend all that you want to spend. So those engines look good. The trouble is now I'm trying to make more engines, and I'm finding myself significantly out of parts. So either I'm missing them or I can't find them. I hope I just can't find them. But I might be missing an entire Venator engine, which would be unfortunate. Yeah. I don't even think I can complete one of these side engines. I can kind of complete it janky, not complete. So, oh man, that really sucks. I'm gonna have to pick those up. Venator would be going in circles missing an engine. I guess if we think realistically about it, you are absolutely right. That's That's really funny. Yep. So now we're on step 32. We're making the smallest engines. There's one. That one's complete. That looks pretty good on the side with mostly complete engines. And the tough thing about builds that are heavy on Technic like this is it's so ugly for like the entire first half of the build. You're just like, ugh, this doesn't look at all like a Venator. I'm not inspired. It doesn't look cool. And it's only at sometimes the very end that it really comes together. For this set, we can look ahead and kind of cheat through. There's just so much Technic structure there. Like, none of this looks very fun at all. And it's only when you get to book 2 that you put the paneling on, you put those parts on, and it starts to get exciting. So yeah, there's where we switch to book 2. I don't know, I'm hoping that just the copy I bought, this engine got knocked off or something. I'm hoping this is not a sign of more missing parts to come, but you never can tell. And that's kind of on me. I bought this set, you know, with on the word of the owner that said, I think it's mostly complete. So I'm either gonna have to sell that and disclose it, or order some parts. And from a financial standpoint, you're usually better off just selling the set as is without spending any money on Bricklink. But there are a couple of cases where sometimes it can make sense to purchase the missing parts, because you'll get more for the complete version than the parts cost you. Finally getting onto the snack plate of blue and tan for a couple of these half axle, half pin parts. I wonder if I can, yeah, those can just sit there. Yeah, all this Technic structure in here, it's just not exciting. It's very interesting. It's very impressive design, but it doesn't inspire me. Your wife and I just built the Nissan Skyline set, and all the cars just don't look good till you put the panels on. Oh, the Technic Nissan Skyline, yeah. Oh man, those Technic, larger Technic supercars and race cars, yeah. I'm not really a Technic guy. I understand that Technic parts have their place in larger sets to give strength and for features like a carry handle and things like that. I totally get it, but I'm not much of a Technic lover myself. The new Death Star is very system. That's a great investment. I don't know. We don't know anything about that set's retirement. I expect it might be out for many years. Probably not as many as the 2017 UCS Falcon that's going on 9 years old. And the New York Skyline just retired, off to a decent start. That set was out for 9 years, so it's possible if the Falcon stays around and doesn't retire, that could grab the new record for the longest running Lego shelf life. God, something I really hate about these old Lego instructions too is the renders in the PDF are so dark. I mean, see if I can zoom in there. I can't see anything. I don't know which of those holes that is meant to go in at all. So, pretty sure it's going to be centered. But yeah, these old instructions, some of them are really tricky like that. So now we're getting into it. We're building the Technic underneath the Venator. Even as a kid, I'm getting deja vu. As a kid, I remember being so excited for this set, and the first third of the build isn't much fun. We're just going to power through it, and it is going to be fun. Yeah, that new Death Star, who knows on that one? It's a new release, so obviously I can't recommend buying that anytime soon, even if it goes on a great sale. And I expect it might go on a great sale sooner than later because, well, it's had a lot of backlash. We don't exactly know how well that Death Star is selling. I know they did bring the TIE Fighter GWP back for a second round. Maybe that tells us something, but I don't think it does. I think LEGO just kind of does what it does. Let's not read too far into things. This is weird. They just stay on there and slide off, and then the way you give it structure is by popping a Technic brick onto it. And I'm dropping parts, as I'm sure I did as a child. This, and although I had this set as a kid and I knew it was one of my top 10 in my childhood collection, I had like all the white whales. I had the 2007 MTT, just one copy. I had the ATOT and Dropship. Sold that going on 10 years ago for like $450. Let's see, for other Star Wars. Those are kind of the main ones for Star Wars. I had the 2008 ATTE, the 2008 Gunship, the original Clone Turbo Tank, which is my favorite set of all time, for personal reasons that I think I'll make a video on in the next month or so. Alright, so this weird thing we just built goes on here. Nice. I think we did that right. Yeah. All right, more Technic. And not to jinx things, but other than the engine that's missing, no more missing parts. We'll see how long that lasts. You need a UCS Tidarium shuttle. Missed out on it in your Dark Ages. I think that is that 2016. That shuttle has kind of surprised me because playscale shuttles haven't gone up in price very much on the aftermarket. But that UCS shuttle, man, that has gone crazy. I think it's $1,000 sealed, and I want to say it was 200 new or 250. I don't know off the top of my head. But that's like it's become kind of a white whale top 5 UCS set for a lot of people, which is surprising to me. I'm not particularly fond of the vehicle in universe. I know it is like a lot of people say it's the best looking UCS set. It's very sleek. I'll give it that. And it does look good. I guess I just am not all that fond of the vehicle. So I don't really understand the hype, but that's okay. So much in LEGO, such a long history and so many themes, so much out there that you can kind of enjoy it your own way, which is really awesome. 2010, okay, I don't know why I thought it was 2016, because 2016 would put it right before the Falcon in 17. I think 2016 was a Y-Wing, if I'm not mistaken. That might be 2018. Again, those are my Dark Ages. I was completely out of LEGO Star Wars. I did not get a single new release from 2011 or 12. I want to say 2011 up until 2020. So I had a nice long Dark Age, but 2004 to 2010, oh man, I had not every set, but almost every set, and all the sets that I wanted.
Hello.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. UCS Super Star Destroyer brought you back into LEGO. We'll see, that was like 2011? That's been a long time. And I know that is a white whale for a lot of people, but I don't know. It's never really appealed to me. I like the figures, and I think that was one of the first UCS to have minifigures. Or 2012, maybe it is. Can't remember. I know that was really controversial at the time. People are like, "That's not why I'm buying UCS sets." Rah, rah, rah. Striking Venom brought me to LEGO Exoforce. I'm gonna take a look at that. Striking Venom. Oh yeah. Oh, that set's awesome. Oh, this is the one that's okay. I'm looking at it now. It has excavator buckets, 4 of them, as feet. It's a 4-legged mech. It has like Gatling guns on top of the thing. It has, yeah. I think Brickmaster Harry did a video on that set recently. That's a crazy set. It's a little unusual for LEGO to put so much weaponry onto a set like that. LEGO being a kid's toy, they try to keep kind of away from violence. Yeah, that's a little bit crazy. I never had any of those Exoforce sets. I had my main theme was Star Wars, but I did have a decent mix of the Indiana Jones sets from back in the day. I had some Bionicles. I had a Market Street was the only modular I had, but I had this is kind of a weird one, the Town Plan, like 50 years later remake Town Plan with the movie theater and the town hall and the gas station. Horribly yellowed. All the white parts on that gas station, horribly yellowed. But that was another one that I sold to go to college. And I just remember being shocked at whatever the buyer paid for it. I think it was over $200 at the time. again, 10 years ago. I don't even know what Town Plan goes for today. So I was mostly a LEGO Star Wars kid, but I did have a handful of other sets from other themes. Let's see, Indiana Jones. I had a couple of city sets, city construction, but not much. I had like a Toy Story, just a handful of one-offs. But never any Exoforce. I'm trying to even think of the themes that they had back then, and they were so different. A lot of dead themes. I didn't have any Harry Potter. Those old Harry Potter sets were really pretty garbage. I never had those. Speed Champions wasn't a thing way back then. So yeah, the hobby's come a long way. And I fear I might be missing this blue piece from step 36. So yeah, this blue piece right here. Shoot. I don't see it on the plate. This build might not go as far as I'd hoped. Speaking of Harry Potter, Gringotts is sold out. That's insane. Yeah, I caught so much flack for talking about that set in a recent video of mine, I think 3 videos ago. Everyone said, it's not sold out, it's not retiring, it's not retiring. BrickTap has it, and it's looking more and more like it might have retired, so I guess I got that one right. And I didn't know at the time. You can never know for sure with LEGO. They do weird things sometimes. But yeah, increasingly it's looking like Gringotts is gone. It's very hard to find at local LEGO stores. I did buy 1 copy there and sold it in Q4. Yeah, I don't know about Gringotts. It may come back. There's just no way to know. So this weird little assembly goes right on the front. I'm not seeing the blue piece on there, and I'm not seeing the gray bracket that connects with it. So it seems this is less complete than I thought. Just my luck. I decided to do a live stream. Okay, but now we're making the front walls part of it, so we should be okay for a little while here. You got your Gringotts for Insiders Week with the discount and double points? Yeah. I hope you used Rakuten. It was 3% for exclusives, which would be like $9, and 15% for non-exclusives. And if you were able to add a keychain to your order and kind of game the system a little bit, you could have got 15% cash back on Gringotts, which would be about $45 at the sale price. Plus the GWPs, of course. But even if you didn't, yeah, double VIP, and I think it was 343 or 344 after the 20% discount, down from 430. Yeah, amazing price. Amazing set. Like I said in the video when I mentioned it, that is a top Lego set of all time, and in my opinion, the top Harry Potter set of all time. If it's not the top, it's, well, personally for me, it is the top. But ask Lego Harry Potter fans, I think most of them will tell you that's the top or top 3 for sure. Just the height of it, the fact that you can take the entire top off and make it modular with the rest of Diagon Alley, the dragon that comes with it, the minecart GWP from a couple years ago when that thing launched. Yeah, Gringotts. I wasn't going to get one for personal. Just because I don't collect Lego Harry Potter. Limited time, limited funds, limited space, so you gotta really pick and choose what you collect. Okay, my marketplace person is here. So give me a couple of minutes. With luck, I will come back with a White House, a Friends, a Taj Mahal, and an International Space Station. I'll be right back, hopefully in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We have secured the bag. And they threw a couple little extras on there too, so I guess an AAT. That's cool. This guy that I've never even seen before, Alien Space Diner. That's nice. Friends right here. A little bit of box damage there. Probably can't see on stream. But yeah, that's, for being, I think, 3 years retired. Somebody look it up when it's retired. I think 22, maybe 23, maybe 21. That's not bad. Here you go, Boba Fett. White House there. I paid $125 a piece for these, so really good prices. Aha! This set is so cool. I bought, almost knocked over my bin there. I bought only 2 of these when it retired, and I should have bought 20. But yeah, awesome set. I only ever saw 20 or 30% off, although back in 2022, I think, or 3, when I bought these, I was not the Lego investor that I am now. So I overpaid for a lot of stuff. I got mine for 20% off, I think $64, down from 80, and ended up making a nice profit. But man, if I could have gotten 20 at half off, it could be serious money. So that's pretty cool. And then the last one, Taj Mahal. This one I think is going for about $160. So after fees, with me paying $125, pretty much a wash. Excuse me. So there you go. That's pretty cool. I am happiest with the White House because despite that set's hype a couple years ago when it retired, I didn't buy any. I've never owned a Lego White House. And like we were talking about earlier, because of the West Wing construction project, it's shot up tremendously in the last couple months. It looks great on display. That's cool. All right, did I miss any messages? Hey, Ninad. Great to see you, man. Boba Fett, you say you like the big Hogwarts castle more. The big one? The $470 one? Or the micro scale $170 one? The big one I could understand. But it's just, you know, it's just kind of big. It's not that cool. Gringotts just has cool points. No, you're entitled to your own opinion, of course. And the big Harry Potter castle is pretty sweet. Nina, you bought the ISS for $50 for someone before it retired. You weren't investing in Lego back then? Ah, shoot. If only. $50 is a good price. I mean, that's 38% off or so. So as a kind of layperson, just Lego enjoyer, it's pretty good. Space station you missed out on. You started collecting later. The Taj is not the creator one. Yeah, correct. I have owned in the past that Taj Mahal. Not new in box, but the re-released version, which I think is identical to the 2008 original version. Very large. I think it's a whole gray base plate, if I'm not mistaken, or no, it's 4 green base plates, and they kind of slide together. I don't exactly remember, but I owned that set, and man, I had the hardest time trying to get rid of it, trying to sell it. So I was a little surprised when this Taj Mahal did so well, and I mean, it hasn't done amazingly. 120 retail. You could get them as low as like 60 or even a little bit lower. I got, I think, again, quantity 2 of this set back when it retired for about half off. I sold them. I made a pretty good return. But that old creator Taj did not give me confidence. So I didn't get 20 of these, and maybe I should have. More recognizable. Yeah, you're right. The Harry Potter huge castle is definitely, I don't like using this word, but it is appropriate. It is iconic. I think that word gets overused a lot. But Harry Potter's a huge franchise. Like I showed in my latest video, it's on the same order of magnitude as Star Wars or F1 recently. So, and if Star Wars' mascot is the Millennium Falcon or the Death Star, Hogwarts is definitely the Harry Potters. Kind of central character. So. Oh, the Ignite chat is reuniting in my YouTube chat. I'm so honored. I hope everybody's having a nice Sunday. Getting to recreate and spend their time doing whatever's meaningful to you. For me, I woke up today. Well, in all honesty, I had the thought yesterday. I was like, you know what? I need to build this Venator, and why not live stream? It's kind of fun. So I didn't manage to schedule it, didn't do any promotion, just kind of went live. And you guys have helped me through technically getting things up and running. So it's just fun. Do I buy BDP, Bricklink Designer Program? The Series 4 resale stock is coming on Wednesday. It's going to be wild. You finished building Thieves of Tortuga. I remember that one from Series 3. I skipped it. Wait a minute. I don't even remember if I ordered a Wild West train. I don't think I did. I looked at Tiago's review of it, and I wavered so much on the Wild West train. I think I thought about getting one for my dad, but he's more of an amateur Lego builder, and that's like 3,000 parts or more. So I decided not to. I think I ended up skipping the Wild West train. No, I haven't looked at the round 4, and I'm not going to order any. As investments, they pretty clearly are a bust. And for personal, yeah, they're awesome sets. No doubt about it. But yeah, just no space. I don't have a lot of funds available for personal. Now, if the right set came about and I simply had to have it, okay, I would make it work. But nothing's really inspired me that much. I do love the, is it Adventure in Transylvania? The black and dark red building from the last series. I think that set's awesome looking. Wild West Train, like I mentioned. Thieves of Tortuga is very cool. Not as an investment, but so long answer, basically no. I don't buy BDP sets. You igniters stick together. That's right, we do. Someone picked up 6 Imperial Dropship versus Rebel Scout Speeders at 30% off. Somebody tell you did the right thing. Well, I can tell you did the right thing. I'll pull mine down from right there. And this is from my personal collection that I keep here behind me on my shelf. This is a huge winner. This is going for $75 on Walmart, and I got the same price you did, 30% off. I think it went 40% off briefly, but I think I missed that sale. I only ended up getting the 30% off, but with Rakuten and additional promos, sound like a broken record, you could get this for $25 or less. Super cool set, very unique, and yeah, where else can you get 7 minifigures for $40 in 2025? Well, this is now retired, so now you can't anymore. Boba says 80 to 85 on Walmart. Jeez, that's even higher than when I looked a couple days ago. I'm thinking of sending my handful in. I only got, I think, 7 or 8 for investing. I got more, but I've been selling them throughout. But now that it's retired and the price is up, I might have to do that. Boba Fett is pulling Bricklink orders. Nice. I'm happy to be the disembodied voice, keeping you somewhat entertained, I hope at least. That Transylvania castle does look great. Oh, Nina picked up a Transylvania for personal. Haven't built it yet. You got 40% off and gift with purchase on the Scout Speeder? Then congratulations, you got the best price. You got a better price than me. And I didn't go super deep into that set. The Scout Speeder and Dropship. I probably should have. But up until recently, there were quite a few sellers on Walmart. And again, knowing myself, knowing that I do sell on Walmart, I skipped a couple of sets this year with good promise because the Walmart listings were just not looking that good. Not looking like a lot of sales, looking like a ton of sellers. So that's, I sort of wish I'd picked up more of those Scout Speeder and Dropships. But it's retired, so I can't. Hindsight's 2020. Yeah, you'll do very well with those at 40% with the GWP. Yeah, Nina, you're absolutely right. It is regional. And I think you're on the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. I am in Chicago, in the Midwest. And I'm also seeing about $75 for that set. Brick Thesis got all the sets with 25th anniversary minifigs, including Darth Maul from the book. There was a Darth Maul from the book. And the Star Wars Magnet. Again, there was a Star Wars Magnet. This is news to me. Well, good. I guess your collection's complete then. You're in Australia. Yeah, different releases and discounts. Okay. Very true. Price might have also just come down. Yeah, I know that Walmart Direct, meaning non-third party, was regional, and we discovered this in Ignite during some of the most recent sales. Not most recent. Some of the sales in November. Wasn't insects, but I forget which. Oh, it was crafting table. Minecraft crafting table. That people were saying, I can get it in stock, and other people were saying, it's out of stock for me. So absolutely there is regional availability. Not sure about regional pricing. It wouldn't make sense that there'd be regional third-party pricing on Walmart Marketplace unless they do that with incentives. But I don't see why they would do that. Like, they incentivize, for example, the West Coast to buy something that they have in fulfillment centers in the West Coast. I don't know. Conceivably, I could see it, but I don't think that's happening. Darren, you missed out on the Mona Lisa for 13 pounds on clearance. The Mona Lisa art set, $100 US, I think 80 pounds UK. Well, that's a crazy price, if indeed that's what it was. I haven't really looked at the 2026 list yet, but I know Mona Lisa was not on the 25 list. Hope you're enjoying the Lego ASMR, because like it or not, it's here. You're getting it. Boba, you're going to send a few of your drop ships to Walmart? Yeah, I'm going to send those in too, but I'll wait for you to sell out. And I certainly won't undercut you. We will not be having a penny war. Darth Maul was the 8th minifigure 25th anniversary print. It was inside a book. I think I remember reading about this a year ago when all the 25th Annie stuff came out. But I don't recall that. What's the value on that Darth Maul, I wonder? If it's in a book, it's probably not too high. But it sounds like it's pretty obscure and probably, I don't know, I don't have any clue what the book sales were, but I would guess less than the Lego set sales. So that might be a little obscure, even if the value is not super high. She's so bad she's good. I don't quite follow. So yeah, every year with Lego investing is always a little different. It felt like this year was very different. The sales being so concentrated in just a couple of evenings. I think we saw deeper discounts than ever before. It certainly felt like it. Let me see what I can do to improve the viewing experience. Maybe that'll help. I'm trying. Oh, the Mona Lisa art set. I see what you mean. I think that set is decently well done. I don't hate it. I haven't bought any of the art for myself. I bought one world map to sell and did end up selling, but I didn't buy Batman art. I haven't bought any. Well, there hasn't been any retiring in 25, but the Van Gogh Starry Night I think has a ton of promise. I haven't looked at the supply and demand lately, but just on principle, on non-quantitative metrics, it's a nice price per piece. I guess that is quantitative, but it's an awesome set, very one of a kind, super iconic art piece, of course. And I am using the dirty I word, but that piece really is iconic. Sunflowers, I wouldn't say is iconic, but yeah, Van Gogh is pretty much the first artist that any casual person will think of. They'll think Van Gogh, Picasso. Maybe they'll think of an American artist. I can't even think of any at the moment. And this is a little strange. I don't have any of these neon orange studs to go on these Technic things to pierce through in here. So, oh well. Cooper, did I buy the Venator secondhand or have one sealed? I did not have one sealed all these years. That would be crazy because, like we mentioned at the start of the stream, a sealed Venator is like $600 nowadays. So no, I purchased this one used as part of a larger used lot. I paid $430. And I got a 2014 Star Destroyer. I got this Venator. I got the large-ish Cantina from like 7 years ago. I got Kylo Ren's shuttle, that version. I got the Spider Droid, this version. I got 2017 fighter tank right there. Camera's not focusing. And a whole host of other ones. One thing that's pretty cool. You guys are gonna laugh because it's in a little baggie, but this came with the lot too. And I've never owned this before, but I've always wanted it. Zam Wessel from I think 2002 or 2003. Let's see. I got some pretty cool figs I could show you guys. There's a Cloud City Lando there with the cape. That's like $100 cape. Let me see. Light up Luminara. I think I showed these on prior streams, and I'm going to do a personal collection video someday. She just fell off the stand. That's alright. That is my childhood Luminara. It is now somewhere on the floor there. Like an $80 figure. I'm gonna try and find her with my toes under the desk here. No, so that was not all included in the haul. The only piece in the haul was the Zam Wessel figure in sand purple. That's pretty funny. I have to remember that Luminara's down there. But that is my childhood copy. I've had that since 2005 when the Wookiee Cat came out. Anyway, we got sidetracked there, but yeah, for personal collection, I'm really just a figure collector. A lot more space efficient. Yeah, it seems like Walmart. I don't really mess around with in-store Walmart clearance, but from what I've heard, there wasn't as much this year. But those you Walmart in-store guys are a different breed. I don't have the patience to drive around, use the Brick Dynasty app, and check the in-stock at all these different stores. It can be very profitable. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. It's just living where I live in a larger city. Good Walmart in-store clearance gets cleared out in less than a day. The rural stores are really where it's at. So it's the thrill. I don't know. I've never. I understand what you're saying, but I personally don't enjoy. I do enjoy the feeling of going in, being hopeful. It's kind of like buying a lotto ticket or a scratcher or something. But no, the disappointment when I come away, and I'm kind of a grouch when it comes to driving and spending my time doing things I don't enjoy. Maybe it's more of a mental thing. It feels like work to me. It doesn't feel like play. And if something feels like work, I want it to pay me a really good rate. Anyway, I don't really do as much Walmart in-store. You're taking off. Thank you, Boba Fett, Very nice to hang out with you for a little bit. The Darth Maul is about $10, not much. Yeah, that's about what I would expect. 10 up to maybe 20. I'd be surprised if you said it was 40 or something. But still very cool. And if you're into collecting, if you want to have that whole series of 25th anniversary figures, of course you need Darth Maul. I got a Darth Maul. I got a vintage Darth Maul. Look at that. Chrome lightsabers. They don't make them like that anymore. Yeah, 13-pound Mona Lisa is pretty crazy. Cooper just bought the 2007 MTT used, and it's such an amazing set. It is such an amazing set. Part of what's so amazing about that is just how well it stands up. It holds up to today's standards. I know they made a 2015 MTT or something. It's terrible. It's not terrible, but it's not good. And it doesn't hold a candle to that 07 MTT. The 2000 MTT, good first attempt, doesn't hold up at all, like most all of those 2000 sets. So yeah, the 07, for $100 you get 20 battle droids, 16 standard B1 battle droids. That's what we need more of. Like with the new blue and gray Separatist MTT, why does that come with 6 droids in the rack? That's just stupid. Anyway, on with the build, which has slowed down tremendously. I said we would finish. I'm not sure if we will. We'll do what we can. And shoot. I'm looking for a little blue, like the smallest blue piece they make, and I'm not finding it. So, just gonna do what we can. Less talking, more building. Yeah, at 50% off, at $80, I would buy that MTT. At 40% off, at $96, for personal, that's kind of a toss-up. At 30% off, $112, I would not buy that MTT. Now it's quite early for both the overpriced Juggernaut and the overpriced MTT, but when they do retire, I expect they're going to see deep discounts, and because they're not going to be, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, because they're not going to be as widely bought, it's possible they'll be really undersupplied on the secondary market, and then they might become quite rare. Although for the price to rise, you not only need limited supply, but you need strong demand. And those sets, I don't think are going to have strong demand. The Galactic Marines in the Juggernaut, it would not surprise me if LEGO re-releases those either during the Juggernaut's shelf life or right after it retires in a Galactic Marine Battle Pack or a Battle on Megiddo playset or something. I'd be very surprised if those stay exclusive to the Juggernaut long term. So I don't think there's going to be... And then at the vehicle, of course, the Juggernaut is just terrible. I don't even see why anyone would want it. The MTT is a little bit of a better vehicle, but yeah, I don't see a ton of demand there. I don't think either of those are going to retire in 26 though, so or if they do, it would be the end of the year. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at those later on. I'm kind of struggling here to find what I'm looking for. 2007 is legit double the size of the 2025. Yeah, it is. And man, I love that set so much. I can still picture the curves on it, the very top of it being two big brown, like smooth soap bar looking slopes. The cannons on the side having the brown cockpit parts. Like, the design on that was just so ahead of its time and so incredible. The mechanism was solid. The mechanism on the 2025 I think is a little bit better, and it should be, being 18 years newer. The fact that it kind of comes out of the front of the MTT and then drops down. But the 6 droids in the rack is just not working, and everything about the newer model I think is worse than the 07, with the exception of I do like how the new rack comes out and then drops down, but the gaps in it are worse. There's just so much in it is worse, and kind of a tough time lately for Lego Star Wars. They're charging such extortionate prices and it's pretty clear they're extracting maximum profit without trying to push the theme into new places. Not only are they playing it safe, they are just kind of insulting the customer with the prices and with the quality decline. So I don't know. Alright, Brick Thesis believes that the MTT and the Ugly Juggernaut will be very popular. The minifigs are strong, and at the right discount will fly off the shelves. Yeah, at 30 or 40% they'll fly off the shelves, but I don't think they're selling very much at all on at retail price. I haven't looked very closely at the 2026 retirement list, and even if I did, it's still so early. I expect things will shift pretty drastically, but I would be a little surprised if those sets both retired this year in 26, because that would give them just a 16-month shelf life, which is pretty rare for those top price point playsets. I would expect 2.5 years out of those. And yeah, Commander Bly, last I looked, it was a $50 figure. Ayla Sakura was a $20 or $30 figure, so yeah, for sure there's demand there. And if they stay exclusive, if those figures stay exclusive, yeah, there'll be demand. We could, for example, look at the Yavin Temple playset from 2024. Pretty much everyone agreed that was a bad set. I thought it was cool that they made it, because they had never made that set, and with all the old concept art, it was so cool to see after all this time, but I think we can all agree that's not a great set. It was very overpriced. It had a lot of figures, but not a lot of exclusive or great desirable figures. And yet if you got it at the prices it was available for, it's been a great investment. That was available everywhere for 50% off, and now it's going for retail or above. So investing is weird. It kind of pays to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, and there's some element of fog of war is a term Kevin used recently on the podcast that I really liked. But we do have quite a lot of data, some data at least. And I'd be curious to talk to somebody who was bullish on Yavin as an investment, because I definitely didn't see it. I thought this is going to be stuck at retail price forever. And I guess it is only at retail, but it was so widely available on half off. Ninad, thanks for stopping by. You have to get going. You hope the rest goes well. Well, we're missing parts, so it probably won't go that well. Talk to you later. Cooper likes the play function on the 2025 MTT. Yep. Lego would have made much more money if they released the Galactic Marines in a normal battle pack. I disagree. I think they're making way more money, undeservedly, from locking it behind a $160 paywall. Those Marines themselves are like 15 or 20 bucks a piece. There's huge demand for those Marines. And when I was a kid, 15 years ago, playing with Star Wars, I stopped short of coloring my snowtroopers, but I looked at the snowtroopers and I said, you know, a magenta Sharpie, and I could just make my own Galactic Marines. And it's pretty crazy that they kept us waiting that long. So I understand the hype. I understand why everyone's excited about the Galactic Marines. I think Lego knows this, and I don't think that they will release the Galactic Marines in a battle pack. And the reason I don't think they'll do that is they're smart and they like money. And they know what they have. And I don't think they're going to give us even one Galactic. I could see them giving us one in a $45, kind of like the 327th battle pack, 2-faction battle pack, maybe a Battle of Megiddo with maybe a Tri-Droid. And what would the clones have? Just like a little battle pack build. And maybe one Galactic Marine and 2 clones and then some battle droids. There you go. $45. This is starting to look a little bit Venator-ish. So now I need to look through all the 2x2 tiles and try to find the one that's printed. I realized I didn't have the instructions up. So I'm looking for a printed tile there. Investing is very much tied to the initial purchase. Direct to consumers, minimum of 20% discount, 40% for the rest. Yeah, I would say I would agree largely that that's, you won't get burned buying things like that. Yeah, I'm also a little skeptical of army building in 2026 now. My goodness. I know it was a huge, clone army building was a huge thing back in 2009, but it's not 2009 anymore. There's the printed piece I was looking for. And it seems like everyone knows clone army building is a thing, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's not as popular as people think it is. So fortunately, despite missing pieces and an entire engine, we haven't yet hit a missing part that impedes the superstructure of the set. So that bodes well. Hopefully that trend continues. And we're back with the cracking dark red. Ah, see? There's one that's broken. Yep. And it looks like I actually need the printed versions. Looking at these instructions. I have one. Maybe I don't have a second print. I'm saying print, I mean sticker. Okay, we'll manage. So these go kind of beside. I'm not sure really if you guys can see. Not really. I'll hold it up to the camera in a minute. I hope I'm doing these right. These go kind of right here. That's where we're at. Secondhand Lego stores. People are still army building the 2013 era clones. Yeah. So those are from my dark age. I have never been super fond of those era clones. I much prefer. Well, I can't really show you as well, but the 2005 to 7, very cartoonish looking clones. Probably just nostalgia goggles. I know objectively they're whatever. Objective, like who cares about objective? We're talking about Lego Star Wars here. Excuse me. But I do know that those 2013, like the early Phase 2s that they made, do command a pretty crazy value. Commander Wolf, the Wolfpack Troopers, those era. I guess those are Phase 1, but there's a Phase 2 Wolf Trooper, there's a Phase 2 Shock Trooper. You have an insane idea to fill the new Death Star with clone troopers. Yeah, canonically, you could give them some 501st clones, and I think that would be pretty much canonically right. So something weird happened with my marketplace deal a couple of minutes ago, or half an hour ago at this point. I met them downstairs. Okay, first of all, I'm buying. They delivered to me, which is weird. Second of all, guy got out of the cart, the bag of sets. I'm like, oh, cool, looks good. He's like, I need the bag back. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't know. It was just a pretty generic bag. Like, okay. I was like, stack them in my hands. So he did. So I handed him the cash, and I was like, because I was streaming, I kind of rushed to get the cash, head out the door. So I gave him the cash, and I was like, hey, I think it's 500. Do you want to count it just to make sure? He was like, no. I was like, oh. Okay. I kind of took possession of the sets. I had them like, my arms are a forklift. I have the sets, and I'm like, I didn't even really look at the boxes either. I mean, they looked sealed, but I was like, oh. So there's a tiny bit of box damage on the friends here. It was weird. It was like, yeah, I'm not gonna look at the sets, and you're not gonna count the money. All right. You think Lego will steal that idea for Rebuild the Galaxy Season 3? You mean Vader having 501st escorts? Yeah, I don't know about Rebuild the Galaxy. I haven't watched the show. I haven't heard of any new sets coming out. It's possible they're done with it, which would not surprise me. Seems like the new hot thing with LEGO Star Wars is Smart Brick, which I don't even want to get into. I think it's just bad. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's poorly executed. I think they're going to hurt their brand a lot by hyping it up. I said I didn't want to get into it. Now I'm getting into it. The sound effects, when you swoosh the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter, it almost seems to me like this doesn't make sense, but it seems like they couldn't get the license for the official sounds for the X-Wing blasters and the X-Wing engines and the TIE Fighter noise. Everybody knows what the TIE Fighter sounds like. And it doesn't sound anything like Star Wars. I think it was M&R said it sounds like a cheap Chinese knockoff, and I have to agree with them. It's not doing the brand any favors. So Smart Brick, I think, is going to be a short-lived and costly side quest. And I mean, LEGO Star Wars isn't going to go away, but I don't see it doing well. When LEGO Star Wars goes away is when I will reevaluate whether investing makes sense or whether it's too risky. I don't see that happening. Dang, I build so slow when I stream. So slowly. Which is fine. It's really fun to hang out and just chit-chat. But let's see, I think I'm 2 hours in. And yeah. I'm not halfway done with the Venator. And I'm starting to worry I might be missing another gray piece like that one. Light gray. 5 long Technic lift arm, I guess. And just as I say that, there it is. Let's go. I think I'm making the carry handle here. I always think it's cool how these old sets have you put the red pizzas in halfway and then put them in all the way when you attach it to the main set. I always thought that's cool. Okay. Yes. Yes. No, that's not the carry handle. That's just like the frame. But I think it attaches to the carry handle. It lets us attach the carry handle later. Darren, what's my opinion on the Pokemon hype? I have thoughts. So in general in life, I try to live and let live. I try to approach life with enough humility to know that my way of living might not be the only one or might not be the best one. So what I'm saying is I try to usually reserve judgment. Why am I saying this? Well, when it comes to Pokemon, first of all, I didn't play Pokemon growing up. I have only a vague understanding of it. I know Pikachu and Squirtle, and that's about it. From the videos I've seen online of Pokemon releases and the physical fights that break out, it's... I don't want to smear the entire community because, as I said, I'm very ignorant of it, but it's not a good look, and I really don't want behavior like that in the LEGO community. And for better or worse, I think those people are gonna become interested in LEGO if they aren't already. And I hope they don't bring that behavior with them, because the LEGO hobby, the LEGO fandom, if you will, compared to others, is actually really cool. LEGO enjoyers are some of the coolest nerds out of all the different kinds that I know of. And Pokemon players might be too. I don't know. But Pokemon resellers, Pokemon scalpers, I'm not impressed. And I really hope that behavior doesn't come into LEGO. I wonder if I'm doing something wrong here. It seems like... oh, I'm supposed to... Okay. But I gotta put these into the right... Oh, jeez. I think I screwed this up. Yeah. Shoot. Oh, no. Nice. Okay, so this can go up like that, or it can go down. Okay, good. I guess it's meant to be flat. Okay, nice. We're in business. Yep. Sweet. Oh, wait, no. You're not supposed to push them in yet. Shoot! It's been too long. It's been 15 years since I built this set. I don't remember. And it's very hard to see these instructions. Yeah. How am I supposed to see this? How am I supposed to see which? Okay, I guess it's the one right up against the red axle. But man, how am I supposed to see that? Ah! Oh, man. Okay. Jeez. Shoot. What am I missing? Okay. I've forgotten to put these two black lift arms. I've forgotten to connect them to the main thing. So I'm going to have to go back and fix that. It's just it's so annoying. It's so impossible to see. Yeah, okay, those are meant to go straight up. Okay. Okay, nice. Yes. Very good. Well, that was pretty easy. Cool. So my opinion on the Pokemon hype is, I'm sure they're going to sell amazingly. I'm sure Lego's going to make a bunch of money, and they should. I know from my friends that do Pokemon that people have been wanting this for a long time. I know Mega Blocks did their, or Mega Constructs did some Pokemon. I think they sold well. I guess it's the resale / scalping culture, and I really do. When it's limited print runs, I try to stay away from the word scalping because it's not really accurate. But limited print runs, when they get all snatched up, it's fundamentally different. Pokemon is from Lego, and in the way that there are limited print runs, and I understand they pretty much just keep to those. Whereas with Lego, they release a set, maybe they have some idea of how long it will stay on shelves, but it's really up to the market. If something sells amazingly, they'll keep a set around for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, as much as 9 years. Also, the fact that Pokemon resellers or scalpers are buying the hot new release and kind of taking it out of the hands of other would-be enjoyers doesn't feel great to me. Whereas Lego investors are buying last year's sets or 2 years ago's sets. Most of us are not buying the new releases. And some people do. Some people do quick flips, and I don't personally do that. I understand some people do. That's fine. Like I said, I'm pretty... try to be pretty humble and recognize that I'm not necessarily right. But I think people pretty much know deep down in their hearts what's right and wrong. And I can't imagine people with a conscience really feel good about shoving people to get to the front of a line for a Pokemon release. I don't think that's the majority of the Pokemon community, but it's certainly a part of the Pokemon community. So that's my thoughts on the Pokemon hype. I'll invest in them. For sure I'll invest in them. I'll have to see what the metrics look like, but I expect I will invest in them whenever they retire in a couple of years. With Technic, it's like so often I just have to count the holes. Like 1, 2, 3 holes between. Okay. Excuse me. Nice. We have our carry handle. Woohoo! All right, it's a little back heavy at the moment. That's awesome. That's one thing I will give credit to Lego. Lego instructions have definitely gotten miles better since 2009 when this Venator came out. Now they have gotten a little more simplistic. They have you attaching these days fewer parts per step, and sometimes that can be a little tedious when you're attaching like one piece per step. Especially for an adult-oriented model, it's like, all right, don't handhold me too much here. But sometimes in the top left here, where they have you pick the parts, on these old sets, they would have you, they would have parts there you attach to the main model that aren't part of the sub-assembly you're making. So you really have to be diligent about watching the instructions, and oh man, the 2000 era early Lego Star Wars sets, good luck even following along, because I wouldn't tell you even what parts to pull and then have you attaching 12 parts in different places. Oh, it's just impossible. So this little assembly clicks in there and then comes up. That's pretty cool. Now we're going to make the cannon. All right. See if we have the parts for it. Somehow my camera died. Give me just a second. All right, I guess we lost the camera, so bear with me. I'm gonna get a new battery. If we can even find a new battery. We're back. Nice. Okay. Most efficient camera battery change in history. I'm pretty happy with that. I was like, what's going on? Why did I... Okay. I think we're back. Cool. Anyway. Yeah. There we go. Got our instructions. We're back. We are so back. Huh. It's hard to tell if this is even faded, or I think that's just old dark bluish gray. Well, old dark gray. Or it's really, really faded. Yeah, so Lego Pokemon, I just hope people are cool. And I think they will be. It's just a few, we'll call them bad actors, can kind of spoil the reputation of the whole community. It's also my own personal biases. I don't know much about Pokemon other than what I've seen of these fights in line and things. Man, yeah, I have a pretty low tolerance even for that. I just kind of turn those videos off. Like, I don't want to watch stuff that makes me sad and makes me lose faith in humanity. You heard they're a different breed. I heard that too, and then I started watching the videos, and I was like, geez, people need to, like, get a grip. I think the saying is, touch grass, go outside. Anyway, thanks, Brick Thesis. Nice to chat with you. Hope you have a nice rest of your night or day, wherever you are. Thoughts on them finally doing a movie wave of sets with the new Mando? Oh, for Mando movie. Well, there's a couple of new sets. There's the $20 4+ Yoda's. What even is it? It's like a Yoda's house, Yoda's hut. There's the insanely overpriced $35 speeder bike set with Cad Bane. Enough said, pretty much. What are my thoughts on them doing a movie wave of sets? I can't think of the other sets in the wave. That you have the Smart Brick sets, which those are on the side. The Mando movie sets. I know there's a couple other sets. As far as Mandalorian the character, it was such a smash surprise hit in COVID back in 2020 and 21 that I'm not surprised they're. I mean, season 1 was viral, right? Season 2, less so. And then season 3, I think, got pretty poor reviews. I only saw season 1. I really don't watch much TV, even Star Wars. So now that they're coming back with a movie, I think it'll. I don't know how much money they're going to spend, so I don't know if I can even say it will be commercially successful. It will certainly sell some tickets, or if it's straight to direct to streaming, it will certainly get some streams. Will it be any good? You know, a lot of Star Wars the last 10 years, Disney Star Wars has not been good. So I want to say I'm going to temper my expectations, because I'd rather be surprised that it's so good than surprised that it sucks, and I won't be surprised if it sucks. I think it's going to do wonders for the retired UCS Razor Crest. I think that's easily going to be $1,000 once that movie comes out. You're talking about the leaks with the new Sandcrawler, Imperial Shuttle, AT-AT, and Playscale Razor Quest. Wait a minute. I do not know about any of these leaks. Let's take a look. They must be pretty new leaks, because I'm not seeing them here. So I can't really speak to any of those if I haven't seen images. I didn't even know they were doing that. I'm not surprised they're doing another AT-AT. I know LEGO likes to always have some kind of Millennium Falcon on shelves, an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter, a Sandcrawler. That's pretty cool. I wonder, will it be a play set, or I can't imagine they would do a UCS Sandcrawler. Is it going to be like a horrible, wrongly scaled Sandcrawler with weird proportions? And I want to see the new AT-AT. That I would be very curious about, because the last AT-AT, the 2020 AT-AT that retired, I think in 23 or 23, I want to say, is like $300. It's and that's shocking to me. Not that an AT-AT does well, but that set, which is maybe the best playscale AT-AT. But there are people out there willing to pay that for such a small, admittedly pretty good, such a small playset. So they've leaked those set names. No picks yet. Sandcrawler's playset for 200. I was just thinking today about this. Playsets are kind of targeted toward parents and maybe like teenagers or older kids who, but $200 is, if you're a kid and you know, what do you want for Christmas, little Timmy? $200 is a lot. 160. I mean, I know they've had the 160 price point for quite some time. I thought that was kind of the top playset price point. Looks like that might not be the case. I think you would need a $200 Sandcrawler to. You would need a $200 price point to do a decent job with that. I'm not sure I agree with a $200 playset though. I mean, that's the same price as our small UCS slot, the ATST. But it's a great vehicle. Little Timmy needs a paper round. Yeah, to afford Lego these days. I mean, when I was growing up, I did chores, and I got an allowance for doing my chores, but it was like $5 a week, and even back then, battle packs were $10, so that's 2 weeks of allowance. It's funny thinking back to my childhood and what Lego was. I distinctly remember, I think it was a $100 Lego gift card I got from my grandmother for Christmas or birthday, I don't remember. And this was in 2007, I want to say, or 2008. And I went to the Lego store, I went with my mom, and on the shelf was the 2007 Clone Battle Pack, the 2007 Droid Battle Pack, the first ever Battle Packs, $10. Amazing sets. And also on the shelf at that time was the Rebel Y-Wing. There's been so many, I don't know why, but I remember that Y-Wing. And the Imperial Landing Craft, the one on Tatooine with the 3 or 4 sand troopers with the pauldrons. Pretty good set. Very cool set. I had $100. Maybe I had $120. I had some extra something. But I picked up one each of the battle packs. And I picked up, I think it was the $50 landing craft. Looked at the box. Put it down. Picked up the $40, I think it was, Y-Wing. Looked at the box. Put it down. Did my little 9-year-old, no, not 9-year-old, what was I? 11-year-old calculus. And decided, I'm going to get all. I'm going to get the landing craft, I'm going to get the Y-Wing, and I'm going to get 2 battle packs. So $110, I guess it was, maybe $120. And got it home. In the next couple of weeks, built all the sets, played with them, loved them, enjoyed them. That landing craft was actually pretty cool. But the Y-Wing, I always thought that 2008 or 7 Y-Wing was such a dud. And I was so mad at myself for spending $40 on that. Because even in 2007, I knew I should have bought a bunch of Clone Battle Packs and a bunch of Droid Battle Packs. Even back then, I loved those sets. And still to this day, those are my favorite Battle Packs. And I think the landing craft may have been worth the $50, but man, that Y-Wing just pissed me off for the longest time. It's like, I wish I could return this. I wish I hadn't spent my precious Lego money, which in my mind I couldn't get any more of. And I just wasted it on this dud. So it's funny the things you remember. Wish I'd picked up the landing craft and 7 battle packs, 3 droids and 4 clones. That would be way better. It's so hard to tell where anything goes. Okay, I think we found it. Does that look right? I think that might be right. Just put these on. Yeah, so little Timmy definitely needs a paper round these days. God, look at this yellowing. Look how crazy this is. It does not look good. Now I'm mad again. I got wound up thinking about that Y-Wing. That Y-Wing was such a dud. Actually, it wasn't a bad set. As Y-Wings go, it was just a Y-Wing. Around the Hamptons. Yeah, maybe Timmy could afford some Lego sets if he does that route. Cooper, you almost got the 2013 gunship as a kid. Now it's your White Whale set, and you'll get one sealed. Yeah, someday you will, if you want. I never had that 2013 gunship. I had the 2008. Yeah, I had the 2008 Clone Wars gunship, which was really cool. Although, it kind of bothered me that it didn't have the bubble turrets on the sides. It only had the winged bubble turrets. I don't know, I guess people, I remember at the time people were like, it's canon. Or like, no, it's not, because it's the space going version. The space one doesn't have the side bubble turrets. And I was like, look, I'm 12. I just want the gunship that looks like it does in Star Wars Battlefront 2004. Okay, so where are the side bubbles? I've never cared much for what's canon, what's not. Like, cause Star Wars, you know, some Star Wars people take it pretty far, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. It's not that important to me. Yeah, the 2013 gunship. That was in my dark ages. Never had it. Alright, so now we're going to take this thing we made that's horribly yellowed. God, you can just see how yellow it is. And we're going to attach it to kind of this underside here. Yeah. I see. Just like that. Just like that. Nice. And then you see there, this little guy kind of hooks in. Well, you can't see because of the light. Yeah. This piece hooks on top of the platform that we built to keep it in place. Good design, Lego. Okay, now we're gonna do the other side. Cool. And if I was really careful, I could distribute these pieces so that all the yellowing goes on the underside or kind of less visible places. But I don't know. I don't really care that much. Of course, I will disclose when I sell this to the buyer that there's some yellowing. Wow, actually some pretty horrible yellowing. So unsightly. But, hey, you can see from this far away how yellow it is. Look at that. Ugh. You'd love some old gray for mock building. Really? It's sort of hard to come by because when did they switch over? 2006? There's only so many pieces in the old color. And it's pretty close. As a kid, I remember it was a lot harder for me to tell them apart, new gray and old gray. I used to have and then my new gray was a lot of it yellowed, so I had a terrible time trying to distinguish. Now, for some reason, it's a little easier. Maybe just an adult perspective. Some old gray for mock building. I'm trying to think of what you would want to build. I mean, it's a little more of an organic rock look, maybe. You building? Yeah, what kind of mock? What kind of mock are you building? Yellowish and thus warm undertones. Yeah, I guess I know what you mean. The especially dark gray, old dark gray, almost looks brownish. I'm sure it depends on light. It's an interesting thought experiment. What if they had never changed the grays? What if they had just continued as they were? That pesky photo oxidation. Right. Hypolite Bricks does an and/or series. Use it in one of those. Hypolite Bricks, I'm not familiar. I don't, I know Coconut Bricks. I like his mocks. I haven't heard of this other person. Looks spectacular. I'll have to check that out. Okay, so now this side goes on. Nice. I like that. I like how the you can really see there and there how it stops it from flopping down because it catches on the deck of Palpatine's office. It's pretty cool. Oh, we got to switch. We're over to book 2. All right, that's good. Let's see if we can manage that. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'm trying to, it's a separate PDF for book 2, so I'm trying to change it over on the stream so you guys can see it. Let's see. Yeah, okay, we got it. Nice. Book 2. Here we go. More Technic, my favorite. Oh, shoot. I think... Okay. I'm definitely missing some parts because I need some blue... These blue... Like... Axle. Not axle. I can't even do this. I can't do step 11 because I'm missing the blue parts that make it possible. So... Oh, that sucks. We're missing parts, guys. We're missing more parts than I thought. Oh well. So those go... Okay, I think we got that right. At least I don't have to wait 3 months or more, like in the EU, if I order from Pick-a-Brick online. I'll be honest, I have never ordered from Pick-a-Brick online. I've always used Bricklink. It's never occurred to me. In fact, I might look. It might be cheaper than Bricklink for some parts. And I know that the Bricklink sellers out there pay very close attention to what's cheaper on Bricklink, what's cheaper on Pick-a-Brick. Yesterday, you received an order from October 15th. Well, that's pretty much 3 months on the dot, so I don't know what you're complaining about. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Oh my god. It's the yellowing is like, did someone microwave these? It's really crazy. Look how yellow that's not even yellow, that's brown. That's crazy. I guess I could try peroxide. I never have. I hear it's a temporary fix. Crazy. I might swap that one out with a less visible, with one in a less visible spot, so that I don't have to look at the yellowing so much. Oh, interesting. You get points and GWPs for Pick-a-Brick if you don't need retired stuff. Yeah, good point. I never knew that. I guess you would want to have your order already ready in your cart. You wouldn't want to miss something like a GWP going out of stock because you're making a nice parts order. But that's a good tip. Thank you for that. I may end up using that. I don't think they sell every current production part, though, on Pick-a-Brick, do they? Because there are so many parts that they make. And I'm thinking in terms of finishing these engines here, there's probably some parts that aren't carried. I may need to use Bricklink. Don't tell me I'm pulling this 1x8 red tile off of this wedge because I need the wedge. I'm like listening intently. Oh, wow. Came off all at once, smoothly, no cracks. Thank you very much. It's starting to look kind of Venator-like. It's a very Venator-ish shape. No exclusive stuff on Pick-a-Brick like Star Wars prints. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Lego's in a weird... I don't know if that's due to wanting it to keep those parts off the resale market or what it is, but it might just be it's a high cost and they don't want to put up with the cost. Or they might be saying we don't want Bricklinkers to have this. That's one thing about Lego buying Bricklink. That they have all that data. And I would think for Lego Company, as much money as they make, I would think that data is invaluable. So whatever they paid for Bricklink, I think it was a couple of million. I don't know. I'm just pulling a number out of my butt. I mean, that data is more valuable to Lego than to anybody else. Might be partially a licensing issue. Yeah, okay, I can see that. Disney has terms on their contract. My God, look at that yellowing. That's terrible. I've never seen it so bad on light grade pieces, honestly. They're gonna put a whole bunch of dark red parts on. Everybody hold your breath, cross your fingers. Someday, I will build a UCS Venator.